Hello and welcome to One Player. Today we're heeding the call to adventure from Brotherwise Games. This is a 1 to 4 player game. We have a solo mode built in with multiple adversaries to face, where you can play it as a co-op, where you're kind of cooperative but also trying to be the best. So one of those be more cooperative than your friends cooperative games. This is a fantasy, RPG, character building, card playing, dice rolling, but not really dice because they're runes kind of game. I don't know what all that adds together to, but you know what? It's worth a play. So stick around and we will get underway. Alright, part of the setup of this game is we create our character. We do this by choosing these origin, motivation, and destiny cards, placing them on our tableau, and then we gain through the story cards different traits, different experiences, which create our character, kind of build on our character until we finally are able to fill our destiny, which is hopefully to face the adversary. Now we've chosen, there's 6 or 8 of these in the box, so plenty of replayability in terms of trying to defeat all the bosses. Today we're facing off against the Tyrant. He's got a massive 8 hit points. He gets us 6 hero points when we beat him, and we'll cover all that stuff later on, but that's who we're going up against. That's our guy. The way that we create our character is this. We're going to take the top 2 cards from each of these decks, I should say, and then we're going to choose one of them. So for our origin, we can either be a conscript into the army or a performer, and I'm kind of a fan of this one. I think let's, we can start off as a bard. That's fine. We'll start off as a local bard. Look here, we're playing a lute. We are entertaining the patrons of this merry bar, and somehow we're going to, we're going to come up against a tyrant in some way or another. So then these are all the origin cards we're not going to use. So you can see we could have been a student, an apprentice, a squire, a noble, a settler, a hunter, a beggar, etc., etc. So plenty of different ways to forge a path through the game. Here is our motivation, and so we're going to learn what is essentially the crux of the story here. What happens to us to make us face off? Oh, a thrill seeker, interesting. Or a sworn protector. So maybe, okay, I could get behind this. So we're like a bard thrill seeker. We're looking to get into scrapes, get into adventures, and perhaps we come up against, I don't really know, let's see. We've got, what's our destiny? A mighty conqueror or a hero of destiny. Interesting. So we're either a hero or a conqueror. Yeah, you know what? Okay, a conqueror over the tyrant. That seems to make sense. We place this face down if it was a co-op game, because we wouldn't want anybody to know our kind of secret end goal. But you know what? We'll just keep it there for inspiration as we go forwards. One day we'll go from bard Tomb Raider to mighty conqueror. So we've set our character. We have our kind of bare bones of what we're going to be working towards and what we are now. You can see we've gained a couple of traits from this performer card. So we've gained Constitution and Charisma is these 2 symbols here. You can see up in this rune box of runes here, we get to roll runes for each of those traits that we have as part of our turn. So during every turn, what we're going to do is once we reveal these first story cards, we are either going to try to follow a path, essentially move through part of the story, or gain a trait. So, for example, this rebellious trait we can gain, or we can go through to forage for food, or train as a spy. Escaping our pursuers, finding a place of power gives us an extra hero card, which is an interesting kind of, maybe we come across some arcane magic powers, I don't know. But as we go, we'll move through these story cards. Each time we successfully are able to take one, we're able to obtain one of these challenge cards. We place it onto our character deck, and that way we're gaining the skills associated with each trait or story. So, for example, in this turn, I probably am going to gain the rebellious trait, because not only does it get us this dexterity ability, that's what we need to face off against the tyrant. So I'm kind of, that's my like loose goal, and you'll see quite a lot through. Oh, we may only gain this if we gain either an anti-hero point or spend an experience. Well, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to start off a little bit bad. So if we move down here, you can see this slider either gives us hero points or anti-hero points. They both score the same at the end, unless we go too far to the dark side, in which case we're going to get -4 points or 0 points down here. So for now, we'll just dip our little toe into the evil realm for now. It does mean we can pull hero and anti-hero cards if we like. And like I said, once we gain this trait, we place it under our performer origin, and we are now a rebellious performer. We're kind of a punk rocker, playing some loot power chords. We pull another story card to replace that in the story arc, and we go again. Now, the adversary only takes his turn if we roll these runes and we gain this. We gain this up or down kind of dual triangle. This is when we also get to gain a hero and an anti-hero card, but our adversary will also play one of their cards and get to unleash some power that they have presently. So we're a rebellious performer. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking maybe we go towards like this escape your pursuers. Perhaps we get in some trouble at the bar. You'll see that this game oftentimes it's not about getting. Oftentimes it's kind of a compromise between getting the cards that are going to be best for you in terms of like getting you the most abilities, getting you the better options, more power, etc. But also there's kind of at least the way I've played it, I want it to be a good story. So I don't want to just like train as a spy because it's there and sounds kind of cool, because I don't see why that would happen to a loot playing rebellious young'un. I don't see myself going into spydom just yet. I mean, I suppose the Thieves Guild maybe, but and especially not training as a killer. I just don't see that in my blood here. Especially with a destiny as such a righteous conqueror. And really, what we're aiming to do is overthrow a tyrant. I mean, it doesn't really seem like. I think a killer would be on the tyrant's side, is what I'm trying to say. So, I think if we've been somewhat persecuted somehow, we can escape our pursuers, and I'm thinking we're going to go with that. So, to take on this challenge, which is going to require a score of 3, we look at the challenge first to see if we have any matching runes from our character traits that we can apply to this particular adventure. So for us, we need to escape our pursuers and we need to use dexterity. Luckily, we gained a dexterity point or rune in with our rebellious trait here. So we're able to roll the 3 core runes that we have access to automatically, plus 1 dexterity rune. So this will either give us 1 point or 2 points. This will either give us 1 point or no points. And as we've discussed before, this will allow us to draw a card, but also trigger the adversary's action as well. So we're going to roll these 4 runes and hope for a score of 3 or more. That is the maximum score we could have got, and I will take that all day. That's a score of 5, and we have convincingly escaped our pursuers. After which, we're going to slide that under our character. I reckon, we were playing a gig maybe, or maybe we were caught probably stealing stealing some mead out of the back room after we didn't get paid enough for one of our gigs. You know, we're a little rebellious. We got chased out of town. You know, we're a thrill seeker after all. So we got chased out of town. And you know what? I'm not sure where this is going, but... Ooh, I like this. Interesting. Now we can also pay to get rid of one of these cards and draw another one. I don't know if I'm quite willing to do that, only having the starting 3 experience just yet, but I don't know. It's interesting that our storyline doesn't quite coincide, or at least our traits so far doesn't quite coincide with what we need for the Tyrant. So the Tyrant's challenge is dexterity and charisma. We've got 2 dexterity now, which is nice, but we need to kind of keep working on that. Again, the challenge is to really... I want the story to be nice, I want the story to be good, but also I do want to win the game. I suppose, you know, if I escaped my pursuers, maybe I was chased out of town but ended up in the Thieves Guild, I could train as a spy. Maybe they're like, you know, listen, like, you're welcome in every bar in the country. You've got a what did I say, a loon or a loot, or a loon, that's a bird, I think. You've got a loot, you can sneak your way into places. They won't think twice. Maybe we can train as a spy, gain some more charisma, and maybe we sneak our way into the Tyrant's terrible dystopian government. Okay, let's go with that. We're going to train as a spy, so we can, again, roll our 3 core runes. It is a dexterity and a charisma challenge, so we're able to use 2 dexterity points here and 1 of our charisma runes. So we're rolling a total of 6 runes to try and score 3 points. I suppose I could train as a killer. That'd be so this side have to get an extra 1 point to train as a killer. You know, maybe an assassin. You know, a bard assassin. I mean, I don't know. No, we'll train as a spy. Doesn't really go with our mighty conqueror destiny, though, does it? Maybe we're like an assassin turn. Maybe we'll be assassin turned good. There's so many twists in this tale already. Let's train as a killer. Why don't we? Yeah, we're training as a killer. Yeah, go on. Let's do it. Okay, I think we've done it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a blank one, but that is by far and away enough to train as a killer. So yeah, maybe we maybe instead of the Thieves Guild, we stumbled into some sort of assassin's nest, and yeah, you know, that seems reasonable. So we were a bard assassin. I'm comfortable with that, if you are. So let's continue. We have made it through the first chapter of the story, quite successfully as well. We haven't triggered any adversary actions. He hasn't gained any experience, which is nice, because we've only got he only has to get 5 to win. And so we move on to the second chapter, if you will, of our story. And here we will find... Ooh, I like this. Okay. So we can either be a criminal, we can be vengeful, we can become enlightened, or we can be inspiring. Now, I don't have the ability to become inspiring just yet. I don't have this green trait, the wisdom trait yet, and I haven't earned any traits or earned any challenges with that on it. Similar to this, I haven't got wisdom or strength, so I cannot become enlightened. I could become a criminal because I do have one of these dramatic angry faces. I can look up what that actually means. I'm not sure what it is. Villainy. Okay, so yeah, so I do have a villainy trait already in my rebellious card here. So I could gain criminal. If I do match up multiple of these symbols, you get extra points at the end of the game. However, within Tyrant's Reign, within this mission, if any hero has 3 justice points at the end of the game, the adversary will lose 2 experience. So that might be nice in order to lower his end score if possible. I mean, I'm kind of becoming like an evil Batman, aren't I? I mean, I'm becoming like a Batman assassin. I guess I could see how I could, use my powers as a spy and a thrill seeker to become a criminal, kind of like a cat burglar-esque. But I suppose bringing vengeance upon the wrongdoers of society isn't so bad. Let's go with vengeful, shall we? I mean, I'm a bit of a mixed bag. I'm a complex character. You can't really tell where I'm going from moment to moment, but I think we're making progress. Honourable, interesting. I cannot become honourable because I do not have the honour points needed. I could again become a criminal, a vengeful criminal, or shall I pay to get rid of one of these? Let's pay to get rid of one and just see what we come up with. So I'm going to discard this one. We'll pay an experience point and watch over the city or catch a criminal. I like that. Yeah, so if we go on guard duty, we can catch a criminal. So instead of becoming a criminal, we catch them. We gain one of these justice points, which is nice, again, towards our tyrant's reign. We gain another dexterity, which kind of matches into what we've got going on now. We do need to score a total of 5, which I think we've got a decent chance of doing. Let's go for guard duty. We're going to do guard duty, catch a criminal. A spy on guard duty? I don't know. Maybe some. Yeah, okay. The criminal's trying to break into the spies alliance. I mean, maybe the tyrant sent the criminal to go and ransack the spy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fantasy novel writer. I'm just doing my best here, guys. We are going to roll. Again, this is a dexterity and a wisdom challenge. So we are going to roll all of our dexterity runes, which is currently 2. So we're going to roll 2 dexterity runes plus our core runes, and we are going to try and get a score of 5. Oh, we've got a score of 4. We've also triggered the adversary's ability. So we can draw a hero card or an anti-hero card, which I think I'll go with the hero card for now. Surprise attack. Anytime we can add an extra strength or dexterity rune to any attempt. So we'll do that. That's nice. But our adversary is also going to pull a card. Okay, so we're going to draw an adversary card after that, and let's see what the tyrant is up to. A cruel betrayal. Choose any hero to sacrifice an ally. Well, that's fine. We don't have any allies just yet, and so that does nothing. Great. Lovely. I will take that just fine. If we did sacrifice an ally, he would gain another experience too. If you sacrifice your own ally, you gain corruption and 2 experience. Interesting. We have failed to catch the criminals, so this card gets discarded. It does not come over to our tableau. We do gain an experience for failing, but we're not able to try again, unfortunately. We'll place our dexterity runes back in the box there, and what else have we got an option to do? Commune with nature or soothing a savage beast. Okay, bit of a different twist, I suppose. I really see a spy as a kind of urban dweller rather than a woodsy kind of nature lover. Although, I mean, I suppose I could be wrong. It does really seem like criminal is the game is kind of pulling me towards becoming a criminal, which that's fine, I guess. I would like to have the 3 dexterity, so I suppose we will do this. We do have the villainy trait or the villainy icon already in one of our cards, so we can pick this up, given that we are rebellious. We are a vengeful criminal. Maybe maybe this is we're like a Robin Hood kind of like bard turned, like a bard turned criminal, but maybe we rob from the rich. We're vengeful against the rich and give to the poor. I mean, we're just dealing with what we've got, okay? Outwit a gang boss or take over a gang. Oh wow. Okay. I suppose the tyrant could be in charge of some gangs. That kind of makes sense. Although we do have we do have 2 charisma to take this on. So that's okay, and it would give us another justice point, which would be nice. Yeah, okay, why don't we do that then? Let's outwit a gang boss, or at least try to. So we're going to use our charisma traits here, of which we have 2. One from our initial performer card, card, and then 1 from our spy training. So 2 of these charisma runes, and plus 3 of our core runes, and we are trying to get a score of 5 again, hopefully. Oh, can we add? No, we don't need to add. This would allow us to add either a strength or a dexterity rune, but that doesn't help because that's not what this challenge is about. Yeah, I think I would prefer... I mean, I could go for the become a gang leader, and get the next villainy trait. Yeah, all right. Let's take over a gang. I don't know. I don't know where the story's going, but that's what we're gonna do. We still need 5 points. There's no +1 here. We'll gain anti-hero point at the end of the game, and we'll gain another charisma rune, which is actually helpful for taking on the tyrant. So it's kind of like we're I don't know. Maybe we're like not that great of a guy. I'm not really sure. The other times I've played through this game, I was like the biggest goody two-shoes. I was like Knight in Shining Armor 101, and this is going a little bit differently, which is fun. I mean, whatever. Let's just see where this takes us. So we got 5 points. We took over the gang. We become a gang leader. We gain another villainy point, interestingly, and a charisma point, or a charisma rune to roll when the time comes. So I keep forgetting to look at these two. During a challenge, if one of the runes shows either Constitution or Charisma, we gain an experience. I don't know if that's happened yet, but I forgot to do it. Also, I can gain Dexterity if I spend experience here. So I've got to keep that in mind, especially when we face the Tyrant. Now, we've hit 3 cards here, so we are a Vengeful Criminal. Now we're a gang leader, so we're kind of unstoppable at this point. We've got a gang behind us to take vengeance on, I suppose, whoever our pursuers were, maybe the tyrants, I don't know. And thus, we move on to the 3rd chapter of the game here. This is where eventually we are going to face the adversary in our final challenge. Things have gone quite well so far. It's been a relatively easy ride, I would say, and we've done okay to get through it. We're going to flip over the 3rd chapter stories, and let's see what we've got. Steal the treasure. Okay, that's pretty appropriate. Survive the horde. Oh gosh, there's an army of the dead. That's interesting. Rogue elemental, or force of nature. So these two obviously kind of lead to one another. Harness living flame. I mean, I'm not really a fire mancer at this point. I suppose an army of the dead would be interesting, but doesn't seem to like go with the story per se. This dragon's horde is interesting, so we can steal the treasure or slay the dragon. By the way, I really like this artwork. That's pretty cool. So if we slay the dragon, we will gain a strength point, which is okay, and then 4 hero points at the end of the game. We'll also gain this, one of these crown points, which again, there's so many symbols. I mean, not that it matters, but royalty. Yeah, this is a royalty point. So we kind of, maybe that makes sense. We kind of become a king from slaying the dragon. Okay. I think we go for the treasure. I think you know what? We're leader of the gang. We'll go for the treasure. I mean, and then who the hell's going to stop us? Probably not the Tyrant King. So let's do it. It's a big ask, 7 points, but I think we can do it. So we need to roll all of our dexterity runes, which we have actually 3 now, which is great. And this one, this will allow us to draw an anti-hero card, so one of these cards, which I suppose makes sense. We're a bit villainous at this point. So we've got 3 core runes, 3 dexterity runes, and let's see if we can get a score of 7 to steal the dragon's treasure. I mean, this is like straight fantasy novel stuff. I mean, it's a bit convoluted, as we've talked about, but we'll go with it for now. Oof, that's not a great score. We've got 4 plus an anti-hero card. All right, we're going to draw an anti-hero card. If you choose a dark path this turn, gain 1 to your attempt. If you choose a hero path, gain a hero point. So actually, that's interesting. Okay, all right, we'll put that on the old pile there. We have failed a challenge, but it's not a charisma challenge. So again, the tyrant does not get a turn. The treasure, however, is lost. We gain an experience from our failure, and let's draw the next. Oh man, we can succumb to dark magic, defeat a witch, or any of these other three. I suppose we could. You know what? I'm going to pay to see if we can get a better storyline here. Army of the Dead, I don't really feel like fits in per se, and I don't want to enslave the forest spirit though. That seems quite mean. Let's see what we've got. Child of the Dark Lord. It's a dark revelation. Oh boy. Wow. Okay, I mean we are going pure villainy at this point. If we're a child, so it's revealed that we're not. Robin Hood was maybe a big overstatement. We are actually the Dark Lord's son. I suppose this mighty conqueror could make sense. I was thinking in a very valiant way, but maybe we're overthrowing a tyrant and becoming a tyrant ourselves. I mean, we're not a great guy at this point, I don't think. I think this is what we've got to go for. I mean, Child of the Dark Lord sounds awesome. Oops, I accidentally threw my core rune in there. So this is going to take only 5. We're going to roll for charisma here. So I've got, how many charisma points do I have? 2. 1 from the spy, 1 is the performance. So we'll take 2 of the runes. And we're rolling, 5 runes to get 5 points? That should be reasonable, shouldn't it? Oof, only just. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if at least one of your runes shows a result of 1 charisma, we can gain experience. So let's do that. Lovely. We are a child of the Dark Lord, and okay, you know what? This story took a turn for the unexpected, and we're just going to run with it. We are just going to go with it. So we've got one more. I do like that. We've got one more trait or experience to battle before we face off against the tyrant. I mean, answers on a postcard, please. Which do we choose? We've come across the Sword of Darkness. We are the Child of the Dark Lord. Do we cast it into the flames, shatter the sword, and break the evil curse? Or do we wield the dark blade, face off against the tyrant, and take him down with our dark magic? I think we've got to wield it. We've got to wield the dark blade. We've got to take it on. Come on, wield the dark blade, take on that tyrant, take him down, and then just spread the evil Dark Lord's empire across the world. Maybe the tyrant, he's not so great. We are literally we're the devil's spawn. I mean, we gotta wield the dark blade. I am going to play this. I'm going to play this card, which allows me, if I do choose a anti-hero path this turn, I gain 1 to my attempt, so +1, which I will do. I'll just discard it up there. So we're gaining 1, and I think we'll play this as well. Before we attempt a challenge, we can add an extra sword rune, or strength rune, to our attempt as well. I think, because this is only strength, I'm trying to get 5 points, and out of 4 runes, that might be a bit tough. So we'll do something I haven't done yet in the game, and that is we're going to discard one of our experience points, and we are going to pull a dark rune. A dark rune is a guaranteed score of 1 or 2, but if we get 2, we move down our hero meter here, and essentially become more corrupt. Now, I'm okay with that. That's fine. We can live with it, can't we? And especially if I can end on this one, that'd be nice. Big 4 points. I'm okay with it. We're gonna add a dark rune. I mean, we just found out, Dark Lord's our dad, so I mean, it makes sense. Passes as a rune, doesn't it? we're now rolling 5 runes, and we're gonna try to wield the Dark Blade. Oh, only just again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points plus a hero anti-hero card. However, we move this down, and now we know we can only, before we could take anti-hero or hero cards, now we're only able to take anti-hero cards. What is it? It's a bend the rules. Play this during a challenge you're attempting. Choose 1 rune and flip it over. I like that. That's pretty good. We've taken our card. The adversary needs to take his, so let's see what happens there. Oh, Dark Lord's champion. Oh, so we've got, okay. So if we're the Dark Lord's son, we're facing off against the Dark Lord's champion to try to wield this Dark Blade. All right, that makes sense. Play this after another hero has attempted a challenge. They must attempt it again, and now it has +1. All right, so fine. Now we're rolling 5 runes to try to score 6. Should we discard an... Oh, you know what, I don't want to risk getting another corruption though, really. I was going to say we could add another dark rune to the mix just to make sure. But then if we get another corruption, we're pretty low down on the meter there. We're pretty low down, and I don't think, to be honest, we're going to get much redemption. Many opportunities for redemption after this. Do I think we can score 6 with it? What have we got? A maximum of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oof. We'd have to get a very lucky roll. Okay, yeah, fine. We'll get another dark rune. Bloody hell. I don't know about this. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, okay, they're all the same. This rune looks darker than the other dark runes. I don't know why that is, but anyway, we've got 2 dark runes. We're discarding another experience point in order to wield the Dark Blade. We're trying to score 6 points. Come on! Oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my gosh. Okay. We go down another corruption level, so we're now scoring 0 points at the end of the game for our corruption. We're also going to draw... Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play this during a challenge, choose 1 rune and flip it over. Is this... Oh, yeah, okay. So instead of drawing a card and having our adversary draw a card, flip this over and look at me. I've got 6. Score of 6, bending the rules, dark magic all the way. I'm just sold. You know what? I'm in. Sign me up. I am a child of the Dark Lord, wielding the Dark Blade, and to be honest, we've gained an anti-hero card from just passing that challenge. It's another bend the rules. And I think we're well on the way to taking down our arch enemy, our arch adversary. It is the Tyrant. Now, because we've reached 2 traits or adventures in this 3rd chapter, now we are going to face off against our final challenge. Now, if we fail at this challenge, we just keep going until either we win or the Tyrant wins. Now, the Tyrant hasn't got any experience yet, which is interesting, because I haven't failed a charisma challenge yet, and I haven't sacrificed an ally. No allies have come up at all, which is a fascinating kind of addition to the game almost, where you can kind of enlist the help of other folks you meet on your travels. We're kind of a lone wolf here, man. We're really doing things by our own book here. Oh, I haven't been doing this though. While the challenge is undefeated, any hero who takes an anti-hero path gains a corruption. So in fact, I should be down here, which is unfortunate because I've taken now 3 dark paths. So I'm well at the bottom. So we'll make that adjustment. I am well at the bottom of the corruption track. I am corrupt AF, and we are going to face off against the Tyrant in our final battle. I'm gonna make this a bit more tidy. Honorable. I am so far away from you. I regret nothing. And oh, this would have been such a cool card. Destroy the assassins or Take over the guild. That's what I'm talking about. I'm already a gang leader. I don't need assassins as well. Maybe I do. I don't know. All right. Here we go. We've cleared the space. We are up onto the tyrant. I tell you what. I feel like we've got a pretty good shot. We need dexterity and charisma, of which we have 3 dexterity and 3 charisma. So, oh my gosh, that's fantastic. So look, 1, 2, 3 as dexterity. So we're a gang leader, a performer, still apparently carrying around our loot, and we're a spy, or we used to be. And we gain dexterity from becoming rebellious, a criminal. I'm so blunt. So a rebellious, escaping criminal. Done. So we are taking 3 dexterity runes and 3 charisma runes to face off against the tyrant. We are rolling 9 runes, and I think we've got a pretty good shot at taking down this. I mean, he does look pretty evil, let's be honest. He looks like he's, you know, he's not a man of the people by any means. I mean, that's not to say that we are per se, but you know, you gotta do. Guy's gotta do what he's gotta do, you know? Alright, here we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We get to take an anti-hero card, which I don't think makes any difference. It's another bend the rules. We've beaten him. We've taken down the tyrant. That means we add him to our character, and thus our story is complete. We wielded the Dark Blade against the Tyrant King. We conquered him, threw him off his throne, and now we have scored some nice hero points at the end there. Pretty good. And we've only managed to end up with 2 justice points, so he's not gonna lose. Oh well, he didn't have any experience, so that's kind of cool. So I'm pretty sure that the Tyrant is not going to win this round. What we're going to do now is total up our score. To do that, we add up all of our hero points, all of our anti-hero points. We add... So, after having defeated the Tyrant, ended his reign of terror, and potentially become a tyrant ourselves, we're going to calculate our final score. We're going to do that by adding up all of our destiny points, which are these hero or anti-hero, I think they're actually called, triumph and tragedy points. I've been giving them the wrong names. I've also going to gain any points we've gained from story icons, so that's these villainies, justice, etc. And any unspent experience I have, which happens to be 2. Every hero card I played is worth 1. Every anti-hero card I played is worth 1. And then any triumph or tragedy points from our corruption track. So that's going to be -4. So, let's see. I played 3 anti-hero or hero cards. So we'll start off there. Oh, you know what? In my unboxing of this game, I sung the praises of the score sheet. I was just reaching to grab a piece of paper and a pen and then realized it was already provided. Very nice indeed. So, shall we add up our triumph points? We have, it looks to be, to me, 6 there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 tragedy points. We've had a tragic existence. 2 experience points. We've gained 1 hero card, 2 anti-hero cards. And then because we have 3 villain story icons, that is going to get us 4 points. And we have how many justice icons? 2 justice icons. Oh wait, no, we have another villainy. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're a child of the Dark Lord, we're a criminal, we're a gang leader, and rebellious. So actually, that's 8 points. Wow, not bad. So 8 points for 4 of a kind, and then 2 of a kind I think only gets us 2 points, unfortunately. Yes, so we've got 2 justice points. So this is a total of 10. And then any destiny points from our destiny cards. So that is 2 for each sword, of which we do not have any swords, but 1 for each either constitution or dexterity. So that is, we've got 1, 2 constitution, and 1, 2, 3, 4 dexterity. So that's, what did I just say? 2 plus 4, that's 6. So another 6. So I'll just add that here, I guess. Plus 6. Not bad. So that's 12, 14, 15, 16, 17. Plus 9 is 26. Plus 10 is 36. And I think that's a decent score. Honestly, I can't remember what my last score was. But there you go. If we were playing as a co-op, we would be able to compare our Destiny scores against everybody else. And see who was the most Destiny-ful player. Because, I mean, it's not the best or the worst. Oh, wait. -4. So actually it's down to 32. I'm not sure if that's a good score then, I don't know. In the book the example says that Suzanne scored 41, which is strong, so we're slightly below that. But you know what? I think we had a good run. We are then charged with telling our story to the room, which we've kind of already done. But as we know, we started from humble beginnings, a humble bard, escaped some sort of angry bar patrons or owners after stealing mead. We ran into the Thieves Guild, trained as a spy. We then turned our spying into, unfortunately, some pretty shady activities, criminal activities to be honest, and vengefully took over a gang when we were, I don't know, so maybe the gang leader crossed us and we had to defeat him. So we then found out, in what was a pretty big swing in the story arc, that we were in fact the child of the Dark Lord. We began to wield the Dark Blade and conquered the tyrant, charging forth on our evil horse. There you go. Write that in your book, George R. Martin. George R.R. Write that in your book, you. Anyway, oh dear. That is going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this playthrough of Call to Adventure. I think there is a lot of replayability in this game. Just the vastly different stories that you can create, the luck of obviously the story cards you draw, but then the story you weave for yourself as you pick out those cards. As I said, the balance between like trying to have the highest point scoring game, but also like trying to tell a compelling story is quite interesting and one that I've never really come across in a game before. I suppose it kind of maybe is like a little bit of like D&D, you know, where your dungeon master doesn't want you all to just die at the first hurdle. They want you to, you know, experience and have highs and lows, and maybe they tone back the difficulty at some parts and then really press it on when it matters, just to add that extra layer of tension. This kind of seems like that, where you're really choosing your own adventure, and how hard, how challenging you want to make it. We could have stuck to some very easy challenges, and I think for the most part, well, we got a couple of traits here, but we did manage to take over a gang and wield the Dark Blade, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think there's a lot of replayability here. As I mentioned in the unboxing video, if you haven't watched it, I think the artwork is fantastic. It's very immersive. I love the, you know, I can really identify and kind of picture myself or you know, whoever this bard is in these environments. It does create a really cool atmosphere. Obviously, I've played it with the, you know, Spotify fantasy music playlist going in previous turns, and that was pretty fun. After that ramble, that is going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you sticking around, and if you haven't already, please do drop a like. Make sure you hit subscribe. I'll be releasing more videos in the near future, and I hope you stick around and enjoy them. At the right hand side of your screen right now, there should be another video that YouTube thinks you might like. So, you know, why not carry on the binge? You know, go watch some more. There's plenty of things to be going around. Again, that is going to be it from me. I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.